You're not afraid of killer robots. You're afraid of losing your edge, of getting replaced, of waking up one day and realizing you don't matter. Here's the brutal truth. AI isn't evil. It exposes where you've been coasting. If your work is average, AI will autofill you out of a job. Today, I'll show you why you fear AI, what that fear is really telling you, and how to turn the machine into a multiplier. There's one mistake that ruins everything, and one habit that flips it. Let's move fast. Your fear has two drivers: irrelevance and loss of control. The illusion of control, why fear feels like threat. Look at you. You've built your identity around control. Provide, protect, decide. When something compresses time and throws uncertainty into your lane, your nervous system reads that as threat. AI compresses time. It takes tasks that used to take hours and finishes them in seconds. That makes your old playbook feel slow and weak. Here's the brutal truth. You don't control outcomes. You control capacity. Most men miss this. They try to wrestle outcomes into submission. But AI operates at machine speed. That creates a control gap. Your effort pushes harder, the gap widens, and your stress spikes. You start chasing, not leading. So let's redefine control. Control is capacity. Capacity is the stack of inputs you actually own: skill depth, principles, systems, environment, and review cadence. When you frame control this way, AI stops being a storm and becomes wind you can harness. Calm is capacity. Panic bleeds capacity. Now, job tasks. AI autofills average. If your work is predictable, templated, and shallow, the model will replicate it faster and cheaper. That's not evil, that's exposure. Average contributors get revealed, then replaced or reduced. The mistake most guys make, trying to outwork AI with brute force. Longer hours, more tabs, more coffee. You burn out, your judgment gets sloppy, and the machine still wins on speed. Here's the pivot. You choose constraints and standards. You decide what quality means and what you won't ship. That's capacity. 3 levers to grab today. Skill depth. Go one layer deeper than prompts. Understand the logic beneath the task. Why choices are made, not just how. Environment. Build a device off block for deep creation. Protect energy like a resource under guard. Review cadence. Schedule a weekly audit. What did you delegate to AI? What needs human judgment? Tighten standards. Once you accept control is capacity, the mirror becomes useful. You stop asking, will AI replace me? And start asking, what capacity do I need to build so AI multiplies me? That question puts the wheel back in your hands. AI as a brutal mirror. It reflects the operator. Here's the brutal truth. You don't fear AI, you fear exposure. AI shows your weak process, unclear thinking, and lazy prompts. It reflects your level of rigor. When you feed it vague inputs, you get vague outputs. Then you blame the model. That's not a tech problem, that's an operator problem. Think mirror model. Input quality leads to model output, and then your judgment decides the value. The model can produce 10 versions fast. Your job is to set the aim, enforce constraints, and judge what's fit for purpose. That's where your edge lives. The thing most people miss is this: you shouldn't scale confusion. If your thinking is muddy, AI will multiply the mud. So before you ask the model to draft anything, audit your thought. What's the objective? Who's it for? What are the constraints? What can be wrong and how will you check? When you do this, the model becomes a sharp tool, not a rumor generator. Structure your prompts. Role, objective, constraints, format, and evaluation criteria. For example, act as a technical editor. Objective, produce a 500-word brief for non-experts on X. Constraints, no jargon, 1 risk, 1 action step. Format, bullets, short sentences. Evaluation, assess clarity at an 8th grade level. Now you have rails. You can judge the output against a standard you defined. Verify outputs. If you're making a decision that carries risk, requires sources, or ask for citations you can check, then actually check them. Don't outsource your ethics. The model predicts plausible text. It doesn't own the consequences. You do. Let's ground this. parenting, or leadership. AI can draft household rules or team guidelines, but your values set the guardrails. You decide what respect looks like, what consequences exist, and what's non-negotiable. The model can wordsmith, but you provide the standard. Without that, you'll ship pleasant language with weak backbone.
Bias in decisions. Models reflect their training data and your prompt. That means bias exists. So do filters. Ask for opposing answers, contrast pairs. Give me the strongest argument for and against adopting this policy. Find the tension. Decide. Precision beats paranoia. Tight prompts, clear sources, verification loops. Most guys make a different mistake. They yell biased AI and stop there. Then they skip their own due diligence. Don't do that. Build the 3R loop. Request. Define the job and constraints tightly. Review. Fact check, align with values, assess risk. Refine. Iterate until the output serves the objective. Do that, and the mirror becomes your teacher. Poor inputs show you where your thinking is weak. Drafts expose blind spots. Iterations sharpen judgment. Now that the mirror is honest, you need an edge the machine can't copy. Your standards and your decisions. That's where we go next. You won't beat AI at recall or raw throughput. Stop trying. You win with judgment, empathy, and strategy. That's the multiplier effect. The machine handles volume. You handle meaning and direction. When you combine them, your output spikes without losing your standards. So here's the daily stack. One habit, one mindset, one use case. Keep it tight so you actually do it. Habit. Aggressive rest for deep work. Block 90 minutes, device off, door closed, single target. No tabs, no notifications, no quick checks. Why? Because depth produces original judgment. Shallow attention creates copycat thinking, which AI already does better. Protect this block like a meeting with your future. In that window, you create, you decide, you architect. Mindset. Systems over heroics. Most men try to sprint their way to relevance. That works for a week, then you crash. Build repeatable processes. Name them. Document them. Run them. A simple pipeline beats adrenaline. Calm is capacity. Systems keep you calm. Use case. Research triage. Let AI draft a brief. You set scope, sources, and standards. Give it a role and constraints. Ask for a summary of the domain, key arguments, counterarguments, and 2 unresolved questions. Require links you can verify. Then you do the human part. Decide what matters for your goal, where the risks are, and what requires first-hand confirmation. Here's the scaffold I use for prompts: role, objective, constraints, format, evaluation criteria. It forces clarity. Example: act as a procurement analyst. Objective: compare 3 vendors for reliability and total cost. Constraints: last 24 months data, no marketing claims, show failure rates and service terms. Format: table plus brief. Evaluation: flag any missing data and confidence level. Now your review has rails. You aren't hoping for quality, you engineered it. Quality control separates pros from parrots. Red team your own output. Ask the model to attack your draft. List the top 5 ways this could fail, where assumptions are weak, and what evidence would change the decision. Then fix the weak links. You don't outsource thinking, you stress test it with a tire iron. Career leverage comes from depth plus translation. Specialize deeply in a domain: finance, operations, training, design. Use AI to translate that expertise across formats: reports, checklists, training modules, slide decks, client emails. Same brain, many channels. You become the signal, AI becomes the megaphone. Leadership leverage is simple. Turn AI into a team assistant. Build checklists, SOPs, and postmortems with it. Feed the model your principles and quality bars. Ask it to format procedures, extract action items from meetings, and draft debrief templates. You still decide what's sufficient. The machine cleans the floor. You set the standard. Now, the mistake to avoid: outsourcing thinking. If you let the model carry the logic, you atrophy. You become a prompt parrot with no spine. Use AI to accelerate your process, not replace your judgment. Your edge is selecting the right problem, setting the constraints, and owning the decision. That's leadership. That's value the model can't copy. Lock it in. Daily deep work, systemized workflows, and one high-leverage AI use case you run start to finish. That stack compounds. That's how you keep your edge under pressure. Credibility without friction. Use provider documentation, model cards, system cards, and official capability notes to understand strengths and limits. Respect reputable evaluations and benchmarks to gauge performance, but don't worship them. They're context, not gospel. Practical rule: trust, then verify. For any decision with consequences, require at least 2 non-AI sources you can check. Pull one statistic or study per point. No stat dumps, they numb judgment. And ownership matters. AI assists, it doesn't absolve responsibility. You sign your name, you carry the outcome. That mindset keeps you grounded and fast at the same time. Now, let's bring it home. AI isn't evil. It exposes gaps and rewards men who build judgment, standards, and systems. Adopt the Daily Stack this week. Comment with your biggest AI fear and subscribe for the advanced toolkit on building AI-proof systems, red teaming your decisions, and keeping your edge when the pressure spikes.